Hey guys, welcome to Jen's Creativity Corner. I'm just going to do a little unboxing video and kind of testing. So I have 3D pens. I actually used one to make kind of my channel art, and they're just the usual kind that use like ABS or PLA plastic. And this is a completely different kind that uses, I believe, UV light to actually do it. So there's no heat involved. Should be safer for kids. I don't know if it'll do as good of a job, but I'm going to go ahead and crack this puppy open and we'll see. This particular set actually has 5 in them. This is available on Amazon. I will put a link in the description down below of where you can order these. Okay, big box. Our little pens. Little kind of plastic sheet that I'm assuming we can kind of draw on for a mat. That's nice because I don't have that for my other stuff. A 3D guidebook. So it has like patterns, instructions, that kind of stuff. So that's fun. A lot of companies will give you like printable books, but I don't usually do that. So it's kind of nice just to have this because then I have it. There's a couple of molds here. I hadn't really ever thought of doing something like that, so we'll have to experiment. This is your little baggie of tips. And then here is your light. All right, so first impression, it does come with these 5 little guys, but this is definitely different than other 3D pens. So they each have their little nozzle, and it kind of makes me think of like a glue pen, if that makes sense, like you have Elmer's glue or something, because it looks like a little twist nozzle, and that's how you control it. And it's just manual squeezing. There's no source of electronics, and there's only one of these, which is kind of disappointing. I'm gonna kind of play around with it a little bit. I'll let you know how I feel about it and how that works out. So here we've got an up close shot of this, what it looks like. Got your little turn nozzle just like an Elmer's glue bottle. And first I'm going to show you how this works without the little light on it, just on a flat surface using their templates. I'll put it on here how fast each is sped up, so you kind of get an idea of how long it takes to make these. But what you want to do on a flat surface, it's really nice because you can kind of outline like this, but it will pool. It'll kind of flatten out because it is a gel, and so you'll need to make sure to kind of cure it as you go if you want it to keep its shape. So that's what I'm doing, not taking too long, and I'm not necessarily fully curing it, just enough for it to keep its shape, and then when I'm all done I go and get the stickiness out of it. It's really fun. This type, I'm going to call it the gel 3D pen versus the plastic 3D pens, which I've used before. But the gel kind, I mean, look how smooth that is. You cannot get that with one of the plastic 3D pens. So that, I think, is probably my favorite part of this. And you can also cure it from the back side of that mat that they give you. I really love that mat. So then I just wanted a little like prop that you can hold up. Made my own little design there. And it's really neat to be able to connect them together. It's really simple. Just take 2 cured pieces, put a little dollop of the gel on there, and then cure it from the front and back, and it holds like a really good glue. So there you go. There's the finished product. These are fairly flexible, but they do break at one point or another, so you'll want to be careful of that. There you get your bend, but they are, again, just like joining 2 pieces, fixing it is a lot easier than it would be for a plastic 3D pen. So I just kind of mended it there and it's good as new. Next, I tried using one of the molds Just doing a fun little design with one color, and then I'll add in the other color. You don't want to make it too thick because it really makes the drying time a lot longer the more material there is. So I cure it as I go, and it is important to note this is curing it. You are curing, I want to say it's an epoxy base, but it's a special kind of gel that sets up because of the light. If you have this out, it's not going to naturally dry ever. And once done, it's pretty easy to pop out. I was just being really careful because I didn't want to break it. So next I'm going to show you the 3D drawing, since that's kind of the most important part of wanting to draw 3D. You'll see here it is kind of pooling when I do the flat surface. So I'm just creating a base. I wanted to do like a strip of grass. I don't know, for like a mini scenery. Didn't quite turn out as planned. So this I think was my first attempt. As you can see, they're not pretty. It's pretty tricky to get it started. They do say that you should start squeezing the gel out and then turn on the light, which can be kind of a pain to do every time, and you really have to work it out. But if you start squeezing when the light's already on like this, then it immediately kind of clogs up the tip and sets the stuff, like cures the stuff that's coming out, so it doesn't adhere to the base as well. You know what I'm saying? I hope I'm explaining that well. So this is an example of what happens if you start to draw with it already on, with the light already on. It just creates a mess. And you know what, if I mess up, the easiest way is just to cure it, and then you can pick off that chunk. So here is a better example of I started it and then I turned it on, and then you can kind of slowly go up. This was my first successful really vertical critter. Starting with the gel and then turning on with a smooth movement of going. It's a little bit tricky to make it smooth, but practice makes perfect. Get a dollop on there, turn it on, and keep moving. Kind of wasn't moving fast enough, so it clogged up, but fix that. Again, I'm putting in the corner how sped up these shots are, so you get an idea of how long it does take to get this kind of outcome. One thing that's important to know is even though it's cured enough to stand up 3D, it's still going to be a bit sticky, unless I suppose you drew really slowly, but I don't think that would work well. So I still give it a good kind of run over with the light afterwards. So here I am just practicing some more of my vertical 3D squiggling, seeing how tall I can get things. And it's important to note that even though it's the curing process is making it hard enough to be able to do that vertical drawing in the air, which is pretty dang cool, you got to admit. Even though it makes it hard enough for that, it still is kind of saggy. You do need to give it the extra time under the light to fully cure and harden. If you end up getting some on your fingers, it's not fully cured, it is sticky, but you can just use a wipe, like a wet wipe, or some hand sanitizer to finish getting off that sticky. So here are my fun finished projects, at least the lesser of the rejects. And it is comparison time. So least messy, I would definitely have to say the traditional plastic 3D pens. These gels just are sticky. Affordable, we're going to say for a startup kit, the gel 3D pens is cheaper. Easiest to use, it's kind of a tie. It really depends on your purpose. If you're drawing 3D, like up in the air, it's hard to say. Most portable definitely goes to the gel 3D pens because you don't have a plug-in that you have to worry about. Safest for kids, it's also a tie. The plastic models can burn you. The gel ones, that light can damage your eyes. Best for refills, I would definitely say the plastic 3D pens, because you can use a variety of brands, and the gel, you just have to buy a whole new kit. I couldn't find any refills. Smoothest product, as I showed you, like with those glasses, that is beautifully smooth for the gel. You could never get that with the plastics. Most versatile, I say goes to the plastics. I just think between the two different kinds of plastic refills you can get, they are meant for specific purposes and you can do more things with that. And then I decided to add another category, best hobby investment. Basically, if I'm going to be diplomatic, I think that these are just for different purposes. The plastic 3D pens are more expensive up front, but you get a lot more use out of them. All you have to do is buy refills. And I feel like that's something that you can do a lot more with. The gel 3D pens, I don't consider that as much of a hobby kit as an activity kit. That's something that I'm going to keep around, and when my nieces and nephews come into town, we will have some fun drawing with that. We'll have some fun making things, but I don't think it's as long-term of a hobby, if that makes sense. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me here on Jen's Creativity Corner. Let me know your thoughts. Have you worked with either of these kinds of pens? And let me know if you like this sort of product review. I don't do a ton of those on this channel, mostly just crafting and cooking, but if you really like it, then maybe I'll do some more. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And again, links to the plastic and gel pens are down in the description below. One last thing I did want to mention, I almost forgot. The gel 3D pen, I really wish that it did have a second light. If I'm going to do this with my niece and nephew, and there's 3 of us or even just 2 of us working at it, you only have one light to cure, and that's just not as fun that you have to share that, because then you have to wait on the other person. Also, the batteries died really fast. I had to wait several days in between reviewing this product because I had to order some more batteries. I didn't want to run to the store and try to figure out what size. So I linked down to those down below as well. I do recommend getting some extra batteries if you get this kit, just so you don't have to wait like me. You'll be all set to go. Anyway, sorry to be long-winded. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me here, and we'll see you on our next video.